Chapter Relations, Gwen from Chapter Relations, and today our membership leader, uh, Pam Bonin, is going to just kind of talk to you about give you a membership training. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Pam. Thank you.
Cool. Thanks so much, Gwen. Appreciate it for organizing all of this. This is probably long overdue. It's been at least 2 years, I think, since we did a training like this with all the chapter presidents. But I'm Pam Bonin. I'm the director of strategic member partnerships with ASTA. I've been with ASTA for over 10 years and always on the membership team. Always working kind of adjacent to chapters. So I kind of come in and out of your worlds and lives, but I work mainly with our host agencies and our consortium partners and our larger premiums. But I love all of membership. I just love helping, promoting, supporting our members in various ways and helping you figure out how to engage with our membership tools and programs. So this training, I told Gwen before we got on this call that I was going to try to keep it to like 20 to 30 minutes of presentation and then allow for questions. So I really hope that I can stick to that. I'm tend to be a little bit more informal and happy to like take questions. I actually would love to end this call with like, what are the questions you get out there in the market? Like when you have your trade show, or when you take an inquiry from a prospective member or a member, like what are they asking, or what do you get stumped by? So I asked Gwen if she could maybe take some notes for the end too. So this might help me tailor tomorrow's call a little bit differently than I was planning. So this call is very much going to be like membership basics, membership fundamentals, and I hope you're okay with it. So like if you feel like you have all those basics and knowledge, then multitask, right? And keep me on in the background. But if you're fairly new to the chapter board or fairly new to ASTA, or really just have focused only on your membership and you rarely take your blinders off to think about like what the rest of the membership might look like, then pay good attention. But Gwen, you're recording it, which is great. I'm always available for questions. So we'll kind of just dive in, and I know we have a couple of team members on the call too. So you can see my screen. So I have the pleasure of introducing, I'm not sure if Michael Shaddy is on the call today, actually, but we've had some recent, very, very, very recent changes to our structure. Michael Shaddy, who came on a couple of years ago as the director of communications and then moved over to directors of marketing, is a very talented professional, and we're lucky to have him on our team. He actually was just promoted to vice president of marketing, communications, and membership. So very thrilled about that, to have our membership team more closely aligned within our marketing communications. So this is a really positive change for ASTA. I hope that you feel the positive momentum. I actually felt like I walked away from the chapter presidents meeting, the Q1 chapter presidents meeting that we just had in the Bahamas, feeling like we had turned a corner at ASTA headquarters, where we finally were providing better resources, better marketing material, better membership support than we ever had before. Even just seeing Michael Shaddy and Jackie up on stage talking about Canva, providing some better resources. So I think we're on a really good trajectory and momentum, and I think this move is really going to help support us. So now, is Michael on the call today? I know we're recording this and I'm not sure. Okay, that's okay. But I do have a couple of other team members that are on the call. I see Tegan and I see Alana. Feel free to unmute. I'd love for you to maybe talk for a minute or so and just say what you do for ASTA. I'm assuming a lot of the chapter presidents have already, and their board members and just members in general, interact with you often. And when they see you at an event, they always say that you're wonderful and they give you a hug. And I get to, myself and Jasmine and Andrea get to hear all of you and the members sing Tegan and Alana's praises. But I'd love to hit it over to you, Tegan and Alana. I don't care who goes first, but maybe just say kind of what you focus on at ASTA. I think that might be helpful.
Hi, everyone. My name is Alana Royal. I am the Senior Membership Coordinator with ASTA. I help manage the member care inbox and the customer service line, ensuring that we address any inquiries we may receive from members or any issues they may have. Also, I help manage the VTA certification program by reviewing and approving the applications that we receive.
It's Alana.
Hi, everyone.
Tegan.
Tegan. And similar to Alana, I help manage our membership inboxes, the call lines, and I also do assist our events team with their inboxes and their calls as well. So you might see me in a little bit of both departments, or if you have questions typically with both, I can help with that too. And I've been with ASTA, I think a little bit over a year now. So that's very exciting. And of course, any questions, feel free to reach out. We're always happy to help.
Thanks, Tegan. Thanks, Alana. And I know Gwen's on the call. I don't know if I see Jasmine. Sorry, I can't see everybody. I know there's quite a few on. But Jasmine and Gwen leading the charge with Chapter Network, and we do a lot of cross training. And I know Jasmine's been with our ASTA team for 10 years plus, and has so much great knowledge that expands beyond just supporting the Chapter Network. So we're really lucky to have her. And then many of you know Andrea Caulfield as well, Director of Membership. She has really been once again, started as a coordinator of membership and has worked her way up to director level, and same with Jasmine, starting as working in our database. So I just love that we've been able to see both of these wonderful professionals grow and have great opportunities for them. So, but Andrea works mainly on a lot of member services, membership sales, cross-training with me on building those stronger relationships with the host and the consortium and our premium members as well. So I'll talk to you a little bit about the importance of that and how it kind of trickles down to all different segments within the industry. So just want to share our team. We had a great team. Proud of us. We love supporting you guys. Okay. So I almost feel like I can't have a webinar on membership and not just at least touch on our mission, right? Like we all need to be able to this should roll off of our tongue, right? Our job is to promote and defend and support and educate the advisor and agency community, right? And you can kind of make that your own, right? But it's all about supporting this wonderful community of professionals. And we do that in a number of different ways through our government affairs work that we do with supplier relations. Oftentimes we need to be able to unite our voice with suppliers as well on maybe the things and decisions that are going on in the industry that might not be travel advisor friendly activity, right? And to protect this distribution channel in this profession, even also with technology players and consumers as advocacy too, right? Talking about the value of the travel advisor and what you bring to the travel buying process. That expertise that you bring is really critical. So I just like to start this out just to remind all of us kind of like why we're here, right? We're here to, and I think about the chapter presidents, we're here to build that community, right? Build that community, and you are an extension of ASTA headquarters. So thank you for all of your work, and we want to help you be the best you can be out there in the when you're out in your chapters in your local area. This is kind of a dated slide, and I kind of love it because I created it. The idea, because when I joined ASTA over 10 years ago, I was like, who are these consortia and these hosts? I don't know who they are. What do they do? Why are they different from ASTA? How do we work together? And so I needed to, this allowed me to just put it together. And we probably will never, this might be the last time we ever see this slide, especially if Michael Shaddy has anything to do with it being over our team. But this just helps me, and I hope it helps you to understand that relationship between your host and consortium, your relationship, and then your relationship with ASTA, because many times agency owners and advisors feel very confident that they get everything that they need from their host agency and their consortium. But what's really important is that the advocacy piece, right? That the broad consumer awareness. Not that we're not working with the host and the consortium and every individual advisor, right? To do our work. But this is our job. This is our focus. This is our core competency, whatever you want to call it, right? Our job is advocacy, consumer awareness. We unite the entire industry under one banner, right? We help give you broad industry intelligence. We can help you increase your industry IQ, and setting ethical standards and professional standards is really important. And we don't do it alone, right? We do it with our hosting consortium partners, with all of you, or all of our chapter leaders and advisors throughout the entire industry. So this is how we all kind of unite. So, but what does a consortium and host agency do? You all can answer this question, right? You know that they help you build your bottom line, right? They help you market, they help you have products to sell, preferred supplier network and support, right? They sometimes do that, some of that big work that you may not, it's just nice to know you have someone else in your corner, right? And I think about that from an ASTA perspective, from an advocacy perspective, but also like negotiating preferred partners programs, but also you probably extend outside of that sometimes too. So when I think about this relationship, I think about the consortium and the host and ASTA being like your support system for the agency community. They're helping you build your bottom line. We do a little bit of that too, right? Maybe, and Zane would probably argue that we do a lot of that, but they're going to help you build your bottom line, build your business. We're going to help protect it, right? Help you make sure that you are running a nice, ethical business with integrity and professionalism. And many of you do that because it's at the core of who you are and what you do, right? So, like I said, a little bit of an outdated item here. So I talked to you about like my role at ASTA is working with the strategic partners. We would not be where we are today, one, without Zane's leadership and building a really great team at ASTA and all of your work. But I very much think about this in the last 10 years I've been working in ASTA is working with our trusted trusted host agencies and consortium on building engagement programs with ASTA. And so Virtuoso Signature Travel Leaders Network, then even in Nexion, KHM, the list goes on. There's more than just this group here, Travel Savers, Mast. All of you have done, I have this old boring slide that shows kind of like the timeline of when each consortium and host kind of got on board with ASTA to support us in a really meaningful way, but they all have different membership programs. They all have different ways to support ASTA. Some are subsidizing, some require membership, it's being included in your suite of benefits. So it's not something that we put out there and promote like what each membership program is. It's the responsibility of that host or consortium to communicate it within their network. We don't want to provide any competition, right? It's just because each host and consortium have their own way to engage with ASTA. So right now it's not a one size fits all. We try to get as creative as possible. We look at what their mission and what they're trying to achieve, and we build a program around that. And so we've been, it's been wonderful. And I hope that you're seeing new members and fresh faces come into your chapters because of some of these. And I know we want to continue to work with the host and the consortium to help support more, right? And broaden that, make their support and reach a little bit deeper within the chapters in the local areas. So let's talk about just memberships. I've got a couple of different ways to look at this. Everyone learns differently, right? Like everyone. So I've got a couple of slides here, but I'm going to focus mainly on our travel agency membership type. So that really goes anywhere from a student who's becoming a travel advisor membership all the way up to a host agency. And I may even talk a little bit about consortium here as well. And so this is one way to look at it, right? A list of membership benefits and programs, and then who gets what, right? So we will share these slides out here. We also have this type of slide in your membership kits. And so for those of you who are like, I've never seen a membership kit, Gwen and Jasmine built this wonderful shared folder on our SharePoint that has a membership kit that we built last year, which is awesome. So hopefully it's helpful. We need to update it a little bit more because we've had a few things happen over in 2024 with some of our programs. So we'll be updating and replacing it, but this is basics, right? These are just, you get, the student member basically gets all the access to all the information, but they can't vote, right? But they can certainly engage in your chapter, right? You welcome them in. That's really important. It's the future of our industry, right? Make sure if you feel like they need some extra help, connect them with someone in your chapter, or give them some extra pointers if they're looking lost at a chapter meeting, or welcome them with an email, something like that. Independent advisors as well. That's in the pink. You basically get, oops, sorry. I needed to turn this pink. Apologies for that. That's we have a board seat specifically for independent advisors. So I'm sorry that that's not pink. But we have a board seat for independent advisors, for example. We don't have one for students, right? So those are some of these basic differences here. U.S. travel agency members, one of the main differences is that U.S. travel agency members, a lot of people within ASTA ranks that have been involved with ASTA for many years call this our core membership. So if you ever hear someone who's been very much plugged into ASTA and volunteering for ASTA for years and years, they're probably going to refer to the U.S. travel agency membership type as a core member, and that's totally okay. I just don't use it very often. I try to make sure it's really clear that it's a U.S. travel agency membership. But you have many, not all, have W-2 employees, and you can actually add that to your membership at that point. So when you think about what's the difference between an independent advisor membership category individual and an agency, you can add your W-2 employees for that agency membership. Okay. And it's all tiered off of sales volume, and we can go over that as well. And then we have an elevated membership program that any travel agency can opt into, but it's built specifically for our larger travel agencies. So we'll walk into some of those benefits. And we also have a premium host agency membership category as well, which gives the host agencies a little bit more. Because there's host agencies and consortium look a little bit like suppliers sometimes, but they're just as invested in our advocacy. They need the same information that you need as an advisor, right? Clarity on certain programs. They want to be supportive of all of our advocacy efforts, right? And they interact with us very much like a traditional travel agency or an advisor, but they also have products and services that may help you. Right. So we want to make sure that we provide a program that's appropriate for all these different segments. And we've been able to develop that over the years, which I'm really proud of. But it does, I get a lot of comments often that say, Pam, why is our membership type so complicated? Right. And so it's a little bit a reflection of our industry. It's not one size fits all. And I think, but it is complicated. I wish it was more simple. But I also love that we have so many different types of business models and professionals that we can support within ASTA. And you all have a home at ASTA. You all have a home at ASTA, because not one travel advisor, not one travel agency company, not one consortium can do the work that all of us do together, right? So we do have to make sure that advisors feel like they have and agency owners of all sizes and shapes, right? That they feel like they have a home at ASTA, and it's hard to do. It's hard to service all those different membership types and segments, but it is important. And I'm sure you feel it too, right? When you're out at your events, feeling like, gosh, I don't know I don't know this segment very well, but I know that someone at ASTA headquarters will have the answers that this member needs. To help them have a successful experience at ASTA. So sometimes as a volunteer leader, you have to take off like your agency hat, right? Or just, and think, okay, what would be in the shoes of maybe a corporate agency or a corporate advisor or someone who's new to the industry, and help guide them through ASTA. And most important thing is you can just contact myself, Alana, Tegan, Gwen, Jasmine. We got a whole team here that's here to help. I'm going to keep moving because I want to make sure we have lots of time for questions too. So I have individual slides for each of these. Once again, this feels very basic, especially because I have been doing this for so many years. And I know that many of you have been in these volunteer spaces for many years. So, but this could be new information for all of you. So this is our student membership. It's an individual membership. It's very much designed for anywhere from that college student at a community college, a college student at a top tier university that's thinking about going into this profession, right? It's also for any advisor that's getting into the industry that might be going through a training program. This used to be a membership category that actually wasn't even our bylaws for a long time. It was kind of like a club, and it wasn't even a young professional club. It was just like a club, and it didn't really have anything to it. And so we created a membership category for this, especially as we put together the roadmap to becoming a travel advisor, which is a resource that we have available for those coming into the industry, right? And so we found that there was some nice interest here in this membership category. If we talk about, my favorite conversations is when you talk about ASTA to the new advisor. It's if you talk about ASTA early and often, it really helps, right? They're like, oh my gosh, like, of course we need a voice. Absolutely. Of course I'm going to join, right? And then if they can find the right resources and the right network locally, that really helps as well. And the right training programs too, right? They want to make sure that we can connect them with a host program, especially if that's the support that they need. So being able to help guide them. So you really get everything, but you're not a voting member, right? They can still come to Travel Advisor Conference. They can still come to River Cruise Expo if they sign up in time, right? Like they can still access our some of our white papers. So they really have access. The one thing that we did remove is, they couldn't, as a future travel professional, and think about this prior to 2024, is that they couldn't take the Verified Travel Advisor certification program. That was very much for selling advisors. And I know we've had some changes within that, but very much this is to start getting acclimated to the industry, understand what's important to professionals in this career path and stuff. So you can start to, speak the speak, right? And understand what you need to know. So future travel professional or student membership is very, student is such a small, simple word. So you'll see it interchangeable in our bylaws. It's future travel professional. Okay. We have a couple of host agencies that have really significant travel schools that have built future travel professional memberships into their membership programs within ASTA, which is super supportive and pretty awesome. So we have over 1,000 right now. Okay. Or just about 1,000. And then we have independent advisor or independent contractor membership category. This looks a lot like a student membership, right? But you get your voting membership. Now we've changed a little bit of this, right? And I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that I didn't take this out. We've had a change this year, as you know, with the rollout of the verification. So I will update these slides. I'm sorry that I didn't catch that before. Our consumer leads are now reserved for our members that have gone through our Verified Travel Advisor certification program and those that will be on verification. Okay, so we don't have a true consumer leads option that's open to all. And I know this is a pain point for a lot. So I'm actually happy that I put it on there so we could talk about it. So I do think that it is something that we'll want to talk about at the end and kind of, because I know that can be a struggle for some, especially when you feel like you have something taken away. And we'll talk about that. And I'm happy to offline with anybody that needs a little bit of support in that space. But independent advisor members, individual membership, you could not include any other people on your account. So sometimes we'll find that I'm going to pick on one franchise company, a cruise planners agency, right, may have a couple coming and purchasing a franchise, right? It's like you can't just buy an independent advisor membership category and put both partners, both spouses, right? I find that I've had that exact scenario happen. You wouldn't be able to have a membership with two on here. You could buy two, you could purchase two and each one be a voting member, right? That's okay. Or just use the agency membership, and that makes a lot of sense. And then the only thing you lose there is, one, you'll save some money, but two, you would only have one vote. So if it's important for both of those individuals that own that cruise planners franchise to vote, then go ahead and join individually, right? If that's not important and you just want to make sure that you each have a resource and are plugged into ASTA and can participate in the chapter level, right? Then go ahead and you can just buy the agency one, and you could still get your member discount, right, when you go to your chapter meetings or sign up for River Cruise Expo or enroll in the Verified Travel Advisor program, things like that, okay? So that's our independent advisor membership category. Then we have our U.S. travel agency membership. So this is your company membership, one vote, right? It's for all of your W-2 employees. And for those of you that may be new, well, you guys are pretty active. It could be because you're volunteering, but really the only voting that we have is for the board of directors. Okay, this is not a governance training or bylaws training or board of directors training. I'm happy to, Jasmine actually has talked about this, of putting one on for you guys. So this is not a training about that, but that really is the only situation where we actually need to have a vote for your company. And I would imagine in our long history, there maybe have been some very special, important, critical issues that maybe required a vote by the membership, right? And I don't have an example of that because it has not happened in the last decade that I've been here. And I did not have the pleasure of learning any of that history from Paul Rudin before he retired from ASTA, who was our general counsel for 30 years. So he never talked to me about that. I never asked that question, but maybe there was a situation. But if there was a situation like that would be the vote, right? There'd be one vote per company, okay? But this is wonderful. You know, when you think about W-2 employees, why would you want your advisors plugged into Aster, right? You have to be ready for those types of questions. Or what type of employee should have a membership? Can my accounting director have a membership? Absolutely. Can my compliance department have a membership? Absolutely. Can my employee that is a social media coordinator have a membership? Absolutely. Right. So we have resources for everybody. And I'm not going to lie, like, it gives us organizational heft when we have agencies that sign up their W-2 employees. It's important for us. It's important for us on the Hill. And it's important for us to have a really good view of what the industry is, the different types of titles that are out there, right? It helps us stay in tune with the industry. So I know that there's a lot of independent advisors and contractors that are small business owners, sole proprietorships, LLC, small guys, right, that are interacting with you at the chapter level. And thank goodness they are, right? But for those times where you have agency owners that may have employees, make sure, you can talk about that, how that their voice matters, right? If there's a state tax issue, which we've had them in Louisiana, we were able to stop the Virginia one this year. Nebraska, there was one last year. Kentucky, there was one. So those employees come in handy. One, it helps. I think knowledge is power, right? It's going to help them feel more plugged in and connected to an industry, and probably be more likely to stay. And so, like, but then think about that from a grassroots perspective when you're out there in the market talking on stage or talking individually one-on-one and helping an agency owner understand what to do. Like, encourage them to make sure that they divide and conquer, right? If that agency owner can't always come to your chapter meetings, that's okay. Say, why don't you appoint someone to be the ASTA, connector, right? Like, if it's not you, if you're finding yourself busy, ask them to have one of their employees come sit in on the chapter meetings and support ASTA. They can bring back that information. So I say that because I work with a lot of the larger agencies where I've had them say, I'll support ASTA when I have time. They're never going to have time. So I probably should be talking about this on the next slide when we talk about our premium agency membership, but maybe you've had that too. Maybe you've had those types of conversations in real time at your meetings and when you're feeding or fielding questions. So you also have access to our Member Advantage program and discounts. So we're saving you money, giving you access to programs. You're a voting member, which is great. So you have a say. You have an opportunity to get involved in our grassroots efforts. So your voice is making a difference. And we're also trying to make sure that you have clarity on critical issues, access to information. So all the reasons that you join, your peers are probably thinking the same thing, right? I always feel that advocacy is the reason that members join. And I know it may be for some, but Jesse, our VP of advocacy, Michael Shaddy, has said this too, like, Pam, advocacy is not why they join. I think I just love it too much, but like, it's very much about, what do I get for my membership? And so I'm thinking about that for tomorrow, like drilling down on our Membership Advantage program and trying to put a value on what some of those are. So, but, thinking about it's what you get for your membership, and that advocacy helps them stay. I'd love to hear your opinions. Feel free to write me an email, or if we want to have a little conversation at the end of this. I think that's so interesting. And I'm already at 30 minutes, guys. I'm so sorry. I said I was only going to talk for 30 minutes. So I'm going to rip through this pretty fast. So I really do like the conversation. So if anybody has any thoughts, feel free to put it in the chat or message me later, or we can, like I said, have a little conversation about that. What kind of barriers you get to joining ASTA. So premium membership program as well, right? This is an elevated membership program for agencies that are producing over $50 million in annual sales. So this is sales, not revenue. Okay, so that's a difference there. But it's annual sales. Will it always be annual sales? Maybe not. Maybe one day we'll change it. But for right now, in the last 10 years, we've had a membership program that's been very much tiered off of annual sales. Okay. And so the additional benefits that a premium agency gets is direct access to our team of government, legal, and industry experts. So think Peter Labasso, Mark Meter, Zane, if there's an issue. So like many of you as volunteers are privileged to have that as well. right? So I hope you feel like premium elevated memberships, because you're volunteering your time, you get access. If you have a concern, I know that you can go to the team. But Alana and Tegan, myself, Gwen, Jasmine, our membership team, Andrea, we try to field those questions and only elevate the ones that need to be elevated. But for the 150 premium members, they're collaborating more at a higher level. They have they're paying for that. They have a premium business summit program that is designed for larger agencies, and we actually opened the doors to a few of the chapter presidents over the past couple of years. I hope you really enjoyed it. It's a really great program. I actually had a small agency that was like, oh my gosh, this is the type of content that I've been waiting for from ASTA. So I know it's all based off of size, but I hope that you feel that our content at Travel Advisor Conference has been elevated. This is just a smaller, more intimate group where they can kind of talk about things that matter to larger agencies, right? And we do have about 30% of our small and mid-sized agencies opt up into the I'm sorry, let me say that again. 30% of our premium agencies opt up into the program. So their sales are between like 5 and 40 million, right? And they just feel like they're on a trajectory, or they need to make sure that they have access to trends and political analysis and some different things at a higher level. And that's really important to them. And so they're willing to pay for that. Like I said, many of them opt up into the program. About 5 years ago, we created a host agency membership type. It's part of the premium program. These are the ones that they're looking for special discounts to give to their advisors and their network. They're looking to promote their services and products to the agency network as well. I hope that you're starting to see some start to support the chapters as well. I know that travel savers and travel leaders oftentimes get booths or support your dinners and lunch and learn. So I hope that continues. They've been very vocal to me that they do love to support you. So that's awesome. Thank you for finding a space, or maybe you're getting creative with them because they don't look like a traditional supplier, right? So I'm glad that you are getting creative and giving them space, because they do want to support the local community building. They've allowed us to build, they've helped us build the community that we can package and sell and support to our suppliers, to show the importance of this distribution channel and how important we are to the ecosystem of the travel space. So they have a little committee as well. I say little, but it's about 60 strong, 60 companies. And we talk about things that affect the host agency space and profession. So it's so nice. I need you to know that, like, we create these areas where, like, companies that are very similar can exchange ideas, right? Exchange their struggles, and we can report out on those issues that would affect them maybe a little bit more deeply, right, than we would maybe the broad conference on general session for the Travel Advisor Conference, right? When I think about California AB5, it wasn't just this was an issue that hit California in 2019 that was threatening how workers are classified, right? There was a big threat to move independent contractors in our space over to W-2 employees. So once again, I'm going on a tangent. I'm so sorry, guys, but it's important where that group can talk about those types of things more intimately to be able to support their network and their advisors. And we also have a host agency directory. I showed this at the, I'm gonna move on. So those are our main agency types of membership categories and their benefits. So put your thinking caps on for questions. This is a breakdown of our membership types. These are dues paying members. So what you can see here is that the independent contractors, the independent advisors, are about 65% of our overall paying memberships, okay? You can see premiums. This is interesting, only 2%, right? Those big guys are small, but they have a lot of volume, right? They're booking big business, okay? U.S. travel agencies, right? These are, give or take, I say traditional, but that's a hard word to say, right? A traditional travel agency. Some may say brick and mortar, but it's not always true. But these are those larger, small and mid-sized agencies. Here's our suppliers. So you see this breakdown is interesting. What I want you to do now is see how it compares to the revenue. And this is, I took out the actual dollars that I shared at our chapter president's meeting and only kept the percentages, but remember that teal box for the independent advisors or the contractors was 65%. The membership dues is about 33% of our revenue. So I just think it's interesting to think about how the revenue distribution for membership is different than just their actual counts. Like here's the premium. They are 2% in counts, but almost 25% when it comes to the actual membership revenue. So just good information to have. I thought this was interesting also to look at it. Sorry, that's not an actual graph, but when you look at the supplier side as well, we didn't talk about the suppliers, but the suppliers are tiered as well by annual sales volume. Okay. So if you look down here, we have almost 600, I think we're over 600 right now. This is a slide from a couple weeks ago, but just under 600 supplier companies, about 10% of them, oops, I'm sorry. I switched these. Goodness, I found a, no, this is correct. The greater than 50 million. So the largest suppliers are 10%. If you're between 5 and 50 million, 28% are in that middle tiers, and majority of our suppliers are 60%. And then about 7% are proud partners, which we haven't even covered yet, but there's a elevated supplier program that starts at $40,000 of sponsorship spend. Like I could see us having a training session for you on this as well. Many of you are pretty familiar with it, but we could certainly tap into business development. But we have about 7% of our supplier members are proud partners. I see a question. I only see one hand. I'm happy to pause here.
Mark.
Is that Sharon?
Yeah. I was back with the when you were given statistics far as the numbers of who brings in more revenue, which is the independent advisors. And I was wondering if ASTA would be able to support chapters a little more in like networking events that we host. I don't know, to bring in independent advisors, since that's like the bulk of the revenue for ASTA. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a really good question. So remember, this revenue is just membership revenue. So when I think about membership revenue, we are a smaller piece of the pie. So when you look at big ASTA, right, there's events and make up a bulk of our revenue. And then membership is the next big size, right? So we're about $3 million. So that's sizable. And you're exactly right. Independent contractor members bring in about 30% of our revenue. So maybe we could offline and kind of figure out like where, what other type of support you may need, right? Like is there something specific that, that you, and Gwen and myself and Jasmine, let's think about like, what are your needs and what are those ideas, right? So that we can think about that, maybe that we have something in place that you're not using or not aware of, or maybe you've got a really cool, fresh idea too. Absolutely.
Okay.
That'd be good. I have this slide in here. We're not gonna go into this one, but I have a link to our membership dues sheet, which gives you all the tiers. You probably have all seen it. I have a membership training guide. This is a bunch of data. I think it's interesting for you. I use it for like training new staff members, but it will show you like who can vote, how many voting members they can have on each account. It's kind of the mumbo jumbo of our database, right? Like what are the codes? So I'm happy to, I'm sharing it with you. I thought it might be interesting, but please don't feel like you got to focus on this. Link to our ASTA bylaws to see the membership types and categories that we have. And then a link to our business development and sponsorship guide. I think that we might be in line to have some training with our business development team down the line here. Got some membership basics here for you. Many of you probably know this already, but this might be good for the new ones. We have a rolling membership period. So as you know, members can join and renew at any point, any day, right? Any time of day. Okay, so they get 12 months of membership. I believe Clea, I hope I'm not speaking incorrectly, but there may be some other industry associations that have it where you can only join in January. So I'm not sure if they prorate or if you join midway through the year, that's just it. You're paying the annual dues, but you may only get those 6 months of membership. So we have a different structure. You get your 12 months of membership. Okay. Most of our membership records have a parent and child relationship. So a company is the member, and then all of the individuals or members are considered like the children, right? So everyone's connected. So the employees aren't holding their own account. It's all underneath that membership type, okay? Or that the company membership, okay? So easy for us to navigate and help support you if you're wondering if a certain employee has a membership. All records in our IMIS database are assigned a 9-digit ID number. And someone touched on this at the chapter president's meeting a few weeks ago in the Bahamas, was that you've had situations at chapters where they've shown you the 9-digit number, but their membership is not active. So we actually have a membership certificate on your website and an ID card. So maybe what we can do tomorrow is show you how to navigate to that. We have automated renewal messages that go out leading up to expiration dates. We have an independent contractor team member that is our retention specialist and makes phone calls. Her name is Anna Graham. So we hope that you are part of this retention process. We typically are able to get our U.S. travel agency membership to about 85% retention, but it takes a few months after they expire. So we're like constantly in that grind. But these membership programs that we have with the hosting consortium really help. I'm going to stop here. I think we have some membership goals we can always add to. I kind of want questions. Yeah, I'm going to stop here. I think.
Hey, Pam, we do
Yeah.
have questions. Also wanted to let you
Good.
know that Michael Shadi was on. I did get
Oh,
him.
good.
I'm not sure if he's still on, but he was on.
Awesome.
So I don't want him to speak or anything like that.
Yeah, I don't know if Shadi, sorry, informally call him Shadi. Michael Shadi, Mr. Michael Shadi, if you are on, please feel free to say hello. I'm sorry that I didn't make this more formal and roll out the red carpet for you.
No, those of you who know me know I'm not much of a formal person anyway. So as of Monday afternoon, I'm taking over as the vice president of membership, among other things. Still will be doing a lot of the marketing stuff, still will be doing, but bringing a lot of efficiencies and just streamlining to the process, because a lot of things we did took way too many people in a meeting or way too many people signing off on things. So now I'm just ruling with an iron fist. So getting a lot more done, hopefully, to help you guys out. So my door is just always open. I've told the team I have an open door mandate for them. I expect people, if they've got issues, to come talk to me. And I would say that for this group too. You're a volunteer leadership, and the things that you do push us across the finish line in so many different ways. I respect immensely each and every one of your businesses and the things that you do. And I'm not 100% sure that ASTA would be here without you, but also vice versa. And I think some of the things that you guys do in your local chapters would not happen if you didn't have ASTA HQ helping you out too. And any way that we can do that better, whether that's for your business or for your organization or for your host or for your consortia or for your chapter, please just let us know. We are always here. And I personally, all I do every day is answer emails and sit on the phone. So very happy to continue to do so if any of you need anything. Otherwise, I trust Jasmine and Gwen implicitly to keep doing everything they're doing. And Jackie, my other team member from the marketing team, which is now all really one happy team together. Anything you need from any of us, please just let us know.
Thanks, Shadi.
Okay.
All right, Gwen, should I take it over to you maybe if we could?
So there are
questions?
like at least about 14 questions. I can start as I can read them off as they come in.
That's great.
Okay, the first question was, for the U.S. travel agency, if there are co-owners, do they both have memberships?
For the U.S. travel agency memberships, that's your company membership. Right now it's $423, right? So those you could include your team, your employees. So I would say I would take that scenario where it was a cruise planners agency, for example. I don't know why I'm picking on cruise planners right now or using them as an example, but we oftentimes have, I have this scenario pop up a lot, like, hey, I purchased a franchise with my spouse, and we want to know which membership category that we land in, what's best for us. So yes, a couple that has a travel agency can join the agency membership type, and they each would have an account, right? An individual, they would each have their own individual login. They can interact with ASTA individually, right, under the banner of their company membership, but only one vote. And that's just where you basically designate a primary contact on that account. And that happens naturally, like that happens automatically on the account.
Okay, and the next question was, at what point does the student need to convert to an agent membership? When they get their first job in an accredited agency?
a really good question. We don't police this terribly heavy, okay? They cannot, like on the website, they cannot just continue to renew in the student or future travel professional membership category. Occasionally we'll find one, right? Like occasionally somehow they did that, right? Or, but really it's designed to be, you can be in that category for a year, right? It's you're designed to be in your training with your host agency, or be at with Travel Leaders of Tomorrow, or with Core, that's owned by American Marketing Group and Travel Savers and Nest, like to be in those programs and then be ready to move on, right? We definitely have future travel professionals that have already they've already established their business name, right? Like that definitely happens, but they're very green. They are very, very green. They're definitely like maybe they started too soon, right? Maybe they established their business and then they realized, whoa, this is complicated and I need more support. So I'm enrolled in this program. And so it's very much for a year. But if I were to get a phone call, and I would hope that for any of you, that if you were to have a member that said, you know what, I'm still in my training program, I'm still so new and green, can ASTA make it, do you think ASTA would make an exception for me to allow me to stay in the student membership for another year? Yeah. If I saw someone that was in there for 3, 4, 5 years, like Alana and I could see that, we'll be like, okay, what's going on? Is this a technical glitch, or is this something we need to pay attention to? And we would work with that member. Like I said, we're not doing it proactively right now, but it's the intention is 1 year and then move up into the next membership category that's appropriate.
Okay. My apologies, I was responding to the question. And then the next question is, are student members part of local chapters? And if so, how do we know or get them involved and include them?
I hope so. I believe it's in the portal, but if it's not, we need to add it. So Gwen, I might actually toss this one over to you. Do you know if FTPs are in the chapter portal?
They are.
Awesome. So FTP is the membership acronym. Okay. That's how you would know who your students are.
And FTP stands for Future Travel Professional.
Thanks,
So,
Gwen. That's perfect.
okay. All right. And our next question is, can we have a list of agencies that offer the training programs for new agents that would qualify for the student membership?
So a list of training companies that would have, okay, that's a wonderful question. So we have a travel school directory on asta.org. I actually thought of using that tomorrow. Maybe we can go explore the directories. And so let's explore that. Maybe we'll do that one tomorrow, but there's a travel school directory on asta.org. Okay. And those are the ones that are just general members, but we do not limit future travel professional memberships to just those training programs. Does that make sense? So if I have a student from, I'm an alumni of Indiana University, a hospitality student from Indiana University, and they wanted to get into the industry, they're just really getting started. They saw we were connected on, on LinkedIn, and they wanted to become a student membership. Absolutely. Right. That's okay. But so right now we're not limiting it to only those that are in certain training programs. Now, certain training programs have special arrangements. So that might have been your question. Like a Voya has a future travel professional program. I believe there's 2 others, and I don't want to, no, there's 3 others. I don't want to misspeak, but I'm happy to do a follow-up. So if that's important to you, I'm happy to help do a follow-up with that one, Gwen. So if you'd note that one, if that's helpful, because it's all based on their agreements for 2025. And I think there's 3 or 4.
Okay. Okay. And the next question that was submitted was, if you are a VTA and have been for years, will you still be listed on the consumer leads?
I'm going to bring Shadi up for this one to make sure that I speak accurately for this one, if that's okay. So if you have been a verified travel advisor member for many years, right from the beginning, which is awesome. Thank you. You are invested in your profession, and yes, you are grandfathered in, because last year we created a sales and experience verification process, right, for enrollees into the VTA program. And so that is still there, but it doesn't have to happen for enrollment. It happens at least by the end, so that you can prove your sales and experience in order to finish the program, right? To get your VTA designation. So so take it away, Shadi, when it comes to verification, right? When you think about their profile, there's all these things. I'm happy to answer it, but it seems like you probably are ready to roll for that.
Yeah, I think the two things that are most important is the sales verification that Pam just mentioned, but it's also the re-certification or the maintenance process that has recently become an issue with, or a requirement for VTA. That is a very powerful thing in this industry, because I could go, decide to start selling travel tomorrow, go to another organization and get some acronyms, letters behind my name, and never take another course or sell travel for the rest of my life and still keep those letters behind my name. And so when we start talking about the people that we want to showcase to consumers who can actively provide trips that they can trust, can provide the sort of travel that makes sure that they are, getting a great vacation or having great, experiences, the idea that you recertify, that you maintain this, just like a CPA that is doing your taxes, just like a lawyer who is keeping you, protected from all the things that are affecting your business. We want professionals who are maintaining a certification with ongoing professionalism. A lot of that is just coming to ASTA events, attending, taking, little courses here and there is not the core courses, but our electives. It's very easy to maintain, but it's important that you do. And I think both of those things are grandfathered for people who have been VTAs. But if you have any question about your status, just email membership and we can work through all of those things on your individual case-by-case basis. Because I think right now there's probably 50 different tracks of different, I had this grandfathered thing and I did this back in the day, but Alvin told me I didn't have to do, or I heard Zane speak at an event and it sounded like, we're going to work with you. Like the people on this call specifically, we trust that others can trust you. We trust that we can send you out into the world. I'm going to be super, super blunt with this group. Our old leads program was not working because the people who need those leads the most are the people who should not be trusted with those leads. The people who are so desperate that the only place that they were getting business was refreshing our leads page, we're not providing good customer service. That's the frank sort of situation. And a lot of people who get VTA, their business is going gangbusters, man. They don't need leads. And so it's finding that sweet spot of, if you want the kind of travel that a luxury travel advisor or a travel advisor who does this kind of business provides, this is who you get. And so those leads become qualified awfully quick. And they're the sort of leads that we want to send out to members that we can trust, that are professional, that have done the work, that are active sellers of travel. And that is this group, straight 100%. It's this group. So we know that if you're doing, check-in box X and check-in box Y and check-in box Z, we know we can send you out with those verification leads. So I hope that answers your question. But if I didn't, just email membership and say, hey, I did X. Am I ready? Like, is there something else I need to do? And we will figure out what that other thing you need to do is. And I'll promise that for you 83 that are currently listening, I'm not 100% sure I can promise that for the 887 currently active VTAs. That might be a little bit more work than Alana and Tegan have time for, but we will do our best.
Okay, I have
you.
another question. Is that okay?
Yeah, I think we've got a couple more minutes. That's
Okay.
absolutely.
The next one is, how do you find out who the voting member of an agency is?
It's a great question. So our membership team can see it from our view. Okay, so they are there's a relationship that's called voting member, okay, for our premiums, and then the primary contact on the agency. So like they're called relationships in our database. And so we assign those. Some of it's automatically, and sometimes we have to go through and verify with that actual agency to make sure we have the right person or people. I don't think you can see that on your portal. So I'm assuming, like, if Gwen, is that true? I don't think the chapter portal has relationships on it.
I don't believe we do.
I'm in the portal now. I don't know where would I look.
Yeah, relationships are
Gwen
not,
can-
sorry, this is Jasmine. Relationships are not currently part of the chapter portal. Doesn't mean we can't add them in the future. It's just that it's not an aspect that we have added as of yet.
Okay.
Thanks, Jasmine.
All right, got a couple more questions if you like. The next one is, with a U.S. agency membership, is it owner only and all W-2s included? And independents have to join on their own? Is that correct?
Yeah, good question. Absolutely. That's exactly correct. So owner typically tends to start the membership, right? Activate the membership or renew the membership. Any W-2 employee is on there for free. And then independent contractors, because of their own business owners, right? Their 1099s, we have a category specifically designed for you at a lower rate than the $423 right now. So yes, that's exactly what that setup would look like.
Okay. And will you be sharing the slides?
Yeah, happy to. Absolutely.
Okay. Okay.
I think they have some links in there too, so that might actually be helpful for some of those resources. Or we could put them in your folder, Gwen, that you've created for the chapter presidents.
Okay. And let's see. It says, at what point does a student need to convert to an agent membership when they, hold on, I think I did that already.
Yeah, after a year. Yeah, I think we covered that one. I think it may have been a duplicate.
Let's see. We have a large agency who has never allowed their agents to attend one of our meetings in 12 years. They have opted out of our newsletter and evites. This continues to bother us, but I don't know what else to do about it. So I guess that's something we should probably talk about, maybe offline.
Yeah, I'm happy to offline with you on that, but I've had conversations with a few of you. You're right. I've had situations where I've sent emails to employees of large agencies, and I've had owners call me. So I just want to let you know, I get it. Like, I've had agency owners call me to say, don't email my employees. And I'm like, access to information is really important, right? Like, this is why we do this. So, I am really confident in the work that we do. I'm confident that employees engaging with ASTA is a good thing for them professionally and a good thing for us from an advocacy perspective, and hopefully a good thing for you as chapters and for them, right, to get involved regionally. Now, you just have to put yourself in the shoes of being an agency owner. Like, what is, I always think about, like, what is their why, right? Are they, there could be all kinds of reasons, right? Are they want their members just to focus on, or their employees just to focus on sales and that's it? Okay, that's their prerogative, right? It's unfortunate for the employees that might not have access to great information like their peers in other agencies. So I look at it as being unfortunate, right? I don't know if it's something that we can fight through, and we can try, right? We'll continue to message and talk about that. But I'm sure there's agency owners that are out there like that. So happy to go offline with you. But if you think it's a value proposition situation, let's try to talk about that and help share that with this network. Sometimes it could be an overtime issue situation, right? But that's if they would like to volunteer their time and go promote them, get engaged in the broader industry, I would hope that an agency owner would support that, but it seems like this just might not be a situation where that agency owner is open to that. So it just depends on that working relationship and that culture within that agency. And I know it's a little bit different on the host agency side, right? Because their ICs are not employees, so they have less control over that, but they may not be willing to share the information that you're hoping that they can share. But hopefully we'll break through some of those barriers. I think with Canva and better communication and having Shadi and the marketing team more highly involved and engaged, I think I hope we can get past some of that.
Okay.
But one other item on that, I think about, like, gosh, why would they say that, right? Like, I think about, like, okay, what value do we all bring as chapters to the advisors? You have a trade show, supplier relations, right? That's why I think that the chapter network is so valuable to the small business owner, because they're working from home. They're hard to find. Suppliers are looking for trusted advisors to work with and sell and support, right? And advisors are looking for the same thing for the suppliers, and they're getting forgotten about, right? So that's why there's organizations like ASTA, and there's others out there, right? Like, I think about Prost and others, right? There's professional networking organizations, like, we have to be, that could be a reason, right? So I think about what those reasons are. Maybe you have to ask why, and I'm happy to work with you on that. Maybe it is a relationship that I have, or someone with headquarters has, that we can kind of help break down some of those barriers. Or maybe we're finding that maybe we're having the same issue. Thanks, Gwen.
Okay, I think there's more, and I can share those with you for, I guess, for tomorrow, if you like.
Yeah, that'd be great.
But that's all that I have for right now. It's 4 o'clock.
Yeah, that's awesome. Perfect timing. So yeah, yeah, that'd be awesome if you could share those with me. I'd like to get over to the website a little bit, maybe talk through a couple of like how to find certain resources on our website. Maybe I think that might be helpful. We'll see what kind of questions you have. And we'll see if we can put together a good 30 minutes of quality conversation and information sharing. So I hope this was helpful. If not, let us know so we can make it better.
Thank you all for joining today.
Thanks, everyone.